Welcome to another canon spoiler review. Today we're doing a review for Logan. Yes, it is finally here. March brings good things, and this is a good one, people. I'm going to start with my recommendations. First off, I recommend you go see it in the theater. See it as soon as you can. I don't necessarily believe you have to go see it opening weekend. For a lot of people, this will be something you go see more than once. But I would say as soon as you can, go see it in the theater. Now, I did see it in IMAX. I don't think you have to see it in IMAX. It wasn't 3D or anything. But I think a regular showing will be just fine. It doesn't matter the crowd. I would actually like to have saw it with a smaller crowd because it was packed in there. But that's just my preference. I don't think you need that communal experience. And actually, that's not a negative of the movie. It was more negative of my crowd. I just felt like they laughed at a lot of stuff that wasn't even supposed to be funny. But anyway, that's just me personally. So I say go out and see it. Yes, it is worth spending the money. I mean, I don't care if you go to matinee, middle of the night, whatever. Dude, whenever you can go see it, go see it. And yes, just go see it. Alright, so this review is actually not going to be that heavy in spoilers. There's not a lot to spoil about the movie. I'll say the spoiler talk for the end. But starting off with my negatives. My negatives are short, man. There's not much wrong with this movie. The only negative I have, I think, is an overarching thing with the rated R. And I just feel like there's a lot in this movie that was put in just for the sake of making it rated R or to stretch their rating. When they went into this and they said it's going to be rated R and Fox said go nuts, I feel like they just went so crazy. But it's hard to call that a negative when it feels like 10 plus years of PG-13 frustration was just let out in this movie. And that's kind of what a lot of fans wanted. And it was the last hoorah, so I can't knock it that hard for that. You know, it's the last one. Go ahead, go get dirty. I just feel like this movie's about 2.5 hours, and I feel like it could have been shorter. Some things were just in there just to be gory, just to be bloody, just to be rated R. And it's fun sometimes that they kind of stretch the language, but it's just like a lot of stuff in there was just really in there just to be in there for rated R purposes. And I felt like you could have cut back a little bit on that, but it's not much of a complaint. That's really all it is. I mean, for me, this is a one-hitter quitter. And I don't necessarily mean I'm only going to watch it one time. Like, there's movies I say that about and I literally haven't seen since. But this is not a movie I'm going to watch over and over again. Not for me. Coming into it, I wasn't much of I need rated R guts and blood and gore. I thought seeing, some grisly scenes with Wolverine was fine, but I didn't need like a whole movie of it. And so that's pretty much what you got. It was grisly and it was cool, but for me, it was strong on the first viewing. And that will be hard for me to watch over and over again. It's just not my type of thing. And I heard some people in the theater saying that too as they left. Like, it was good. It was too much slicing and dicing for them. And I understand that. So that'd be my only negative. That's me. It probably is rewatchable for a lot of other people. But I just think certain things that make it longer when it doesn't need to be. But yeah, shoot, if that's all you can complain about, that's a good thing. As far as the positives, that's a long list. I just think they wrapped up a very long running franchise well. And not only wrapped it up well for Hugh Jackman and Wolverine, but really set the wheels in motion for future movies. And I just look at everything they were able to do. And the way they let Hugh Jackman play full out Wolverine in 2 different ways, and the way they gave a real deeper story to the X-Men, because that's what X-Men always does. I'm so hyped about X-Men. Like, X-Men Apocalypse was my #1 movie of 2016. And it's because of what I saw in the theater, how I felt with the X-Men. And I don't know if it's because they have more movies or they've been around longer than the other ones. But something with X-Men is special because the idea of being a mutant versus the world is just, it's such an allegory. It's so real to how we feel as humans, whether you feel left out for any number of reasons, and the fact that people will persecute you for it. And so it's always been the realest story. So I feel like X-Men can do that. They can reach deep. And we're not trying to make a lot of money. We're not trying to, just spin our wheels. We want to make something that's artistic, creative, and fun to send Hugh Jackman out with. And so they dug deep into that X-Men kind of well of emotion, which you see in every movie, but they put that into a whole movie, the whole idea of what's going on. And I just thought it was so well done. And Hugh Jackman, he was great, but the director, oh my God, there was political things in this movie, whether it was Americans and Border Patrol, whether it was the idea of the government using food products and stuff to change things for people. I'm not going to get too deep into it. It was just so many political messages, which were strong. They were needed and they were blended in well. There was great action. There was great acting. That little girl that played Laura was, because she didn't talk most of the movie. I mean, spoiler, I guess, she barely talks the whole movie. And then when she does, she's freaking Mexican. I'm just kidding. She's not actually Mexican, but she's speaking Spanish. And I thought she had a very great accent, actually. But yes, it was so good. So everything in this movie they did so well, and it was nice because it was 2029, so it was in the future. But they didn't do that thing where movies usually do, where everything is virtual and we're flying cars and it's future. No, everything was pretty much the same. Like if they didn't say it was 2029, you wouldn't have known. There's a few scenes where you're like, okay, that's a little futuristic, but it's so small. It is so small. And the story they did with Professor X, and I'm bouncing around, I know, I almost cried. Like it's so mind blowing when you when you take a material that's already there and really deeply dive into the different facets that might have. So I just, yes, in my screen, I don't even care. Yes, positives, I could go on for a long time talking about the positives. I just think this movie did so many things well that we haven't seen before. This is a true game changer. And I know when the first trailer came out, we were talking about, hey, Oscar type movie or indie type movie, but with superheroes. No, it really is. And we talked about Suicide Squad winning an Oscar, and it was hair and makeup, and it's a small step. This is a big step. This is changing the game. I don't know if it's going to get nominated for stuff. I don't know how realistic that is, but you can't deny it anymore, Academy Awards. When you see movies like this, and it's not just heroes, it's comedies and every other type movie. They like drama. They like things where people have to play real people. And that's what you got out of this movie. It really was a drama. It really was emotional. It was deep, man. There's a lot of stuff in this movie. So, I mean, I'm going to give it a rating real quick so I can jump into spoiler talk. I used to do regular movie, superhero movie, and I guess I could, but overall, I'm giving it a 97%. 97%. Like I said, there's some things with the length of the movie that could have been done differently, but that's it. That's really it. I mean, no movie's perfect, but it's up there. As a comic book movie, I would give it 100%. 100%. I mean, I don't know. I'm in the moment right now. I would have to think about that because comic book movies I have different criteria for, and I feel like this might not have as much fun as you would a Deadpool or anything like that, which I gave a perfect score. But if you're talking about like portraying the character, yeah, it's darn near perfect on the comic book level. But 97% is what I'm giving it. just as a movie, and that's higher for me than La La Land. So that's how good this movie is. So I'm gonna give the spoiler warning now. I'm gonna get into some spoiler talk, so don't listen if you haven't seen it. Deadpool! Yes, I said it. Deadpool. I called this, and I know it's not really part of the movie, but it basically is. It's part of the movie. I knew it. I absolutely knew that was going to happen. I wish it was actually in the movie where he interacted with Hugh Jackman, and it was more of a Deadpool is still alive in the future, but he's decaying or whatever. Ryan Reynolds can act, so it's not like they couldn't have done that. But yes, everybody's talking about Hugh Jackman making a cameo in the next Deadpool. Maybe a cameo, I don't know, but he did recently say he's not playing Wolverine again, and the movie pretty much shows you why. But I guess it could happen. I don't know. But Deadpool, Charles dying. You knew someone was going to die. Whether it was Logan or not, you knew someone was going to die. The way he died was tragic. His whole story was tragic. Him killing his own X-Man because his powers are going out, I thought the idea of his mind decaying as he got older and it's a powerful mind being loose was already amazing. But then you go further and say he killed his own X-Man. Oh my God. Patrick Stewart really could get nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Like, he was great in this. And I just thought it was so ambitious. Everything they did with this movie was so ambitious. Hugh Jackman playing a younger version of himself. The action aside, how cool it looked aside, just the concept of Wolverine facing his mortality already as an older person, but then having to go up against a younger version of himself that is ferocious and healing like the same and oh my God, yes! I was not ready for that. I was not ready for that at all. And then X-23 or Laura, whatever you want to call her, because I think they were all X-23s because that was their series. But Laura being Wolverine's daughter. Yes. The twist. It's logical, but no one really thought that's what they were going to do with it because we were so focused on the old man Logan story. My mind is blown right now. But those are the spoilers. But really, just in the big picture, I want to kind of fit this in. I talked a little bit about Marvel and why they won't win Oscars because it's cookie cutter. And it's fine. It's great movies, but they're cookie cutter. They don't stick with you as hard. They don't take chances. They don't take risks. Then we look at Warner Brothers, what they did with Batman vs. Superman, or Zack Snyder, I should say. And people say it looks great. The ideas are there, but the whole movie didn't come together in the execution. And I can understand that. It was so ambitious, though, and I give so many points for movies like La La Land for BVS being ambitious, trying to do big things, but it doesn't always come together. This movie was over the top ambitious in every single thing it did, and it hit exactly every time. I don't know if they knew this movie was going to come together as well, or if he planned it to. It might have been a stroke of luck where everything fell into place. This movie comes together on another level. It is ambitious. They don't take the typical superhero route. They really dive into the dark corners of it, but they have heart and emotion to it. And Wolverine's a tragic character, and they gave him a tragic ending. And I just absolutely applaud what they did with this movie. Like, I was ready to come to a tear at the end. It's just absolutely just amazing. So, I think I'll have more to say as I let it sink in and as time goes on. But if you've seen Logan, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Like, thumbs up, subscribe. And if you heard it here, it's official canon.